Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Barrie Real Estate TV, a weekly web series I do in partnership with 705contracting.ca. I'm your host Luke Bouillon, a real estate broker with the Knowles Woolsey team at RE/MAX Hallmark Che right here in the beautiful city of Barrie. And some of you might notice I'm back in the office this week, but don't worry, we are still practicing safe social distancing in accordance with the COVID-19 global pandemic and the direction from the province and the federal health ministers and doctors. But this is our one-person office here on Barrie's Lake Shore, where we're able to come in and lock the door and get some thing done without any worries of cross-contamination, as opposed to our big team office where everybody is coming and going. So I'm here today, I'm getting a few things done, and I noticed how beautiful the weather is getting outside here on the lake shore. And I'm looking up, and apparently we're going to see temperatures in the mid and low 30s, or feeling like mid and low 30s later this week. And I know it's going to get everybody wanting to get out and get some things done in their yard and around their home. And especially during this time when everyone is social distancing or quarantining or just being at home with their families right now, I know it's a fantastic time for people to check things off those honey to-do lists and do all kinds of little property maintenance and home renovations and all kinds of projects right now. So I thought, what better time to go over a list of the 6 most important things you can do to add value to your property. So stay tuned right after this. Welcome back, guys. So as I said, we're going to be talking about the top 6 things you can do at home to add value to your property. And everybody knows the first 2 right off the bat. We're going to tell you is kitchens and bathrooms. We've heard that a dozen times, and we'll go over why that is in a second. But the next things down that list, and some of them may surprise you as I go over them here. Number 3, in my opinion, is basements. Moving on from that, number 4 is going to be mechanical. 5 is curb appeal, and 6 I call the oldest trick in the book, and that is painting. So as I go through them one by one, let me explain to you why these are the number 1 things you can do and how they're going to add value to your property. Okay, number 1, as we all know, like I said, is the kitchen. Kitchen renovations are dollar for dollar the best improvement you can do for your home to instantly raise its value. It doesn't have to be a complete kitchen renovation. We all know that can be anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 or more, depending on how wild you want to go with your kitchen improvements. But small things like replacing your appliances can be a great first step to really modernizing your kitchen. Something else like just replacing your old countertop with a new granite or quartz countertop, just bringing that up to a modern solid stone finish, and they've come down so much in price. You can do an entire kitchen, depending on the size, from anywhere from $1,800 to $2,500 and up, depending on how much space you have. It's not a ton of money for a huge impact to your kitchen, and we've got contacts for those as well. If you don't know someone, give us a call and we can recommend someone who can come and replace those for you quickly and relatively inexpensively. Adding on to that, what a lot of people are doing in terms of kitchen cabinets these days is just having them painted. So of course, replacing cabinets is a fantastic way to go, but it can get very expensive depending on the size of your kitchen. There are many companies out there now that will take the doors off, have them professionally sprayed, and then paint the cabinet bases so that you have a great looking kitchen without the expense of completely replacing it, no demolition costs, anything like that. Put on some new knobs and bam, you have a brand new looking kitchen. It's good for several years instead of completely replacing, which you can then plan for later down the road, whether you are selling or not. That's going to give you a quick impact in your home just to kind of raise that value really, really quickly. Next, of course, is bathrooms, guys. And what a lot of people are doing in bathrooms right now, we're seeing this trend where they're taking out the tubs and they're doing standing showers. And while this can look great and it's a fantastic idea for maybe an ensuite or if you have multiple bathrooms, I want to advise against that. If you have only one bathroom, or if you've done this to more than one bathroom in your home, you have to keep at least one tub. This is very important, and when families are looking to purchase your home later down the road, if there's not a tub in there and they have small children, they're going to strike your home right off the list. I'm seeing this time and time again, even some new builds where builders are choosing not to put in tubs because they think there's a design trend here. As I bring people through them, they right away notice that there is no tub anywhere in the home, and that is a red flag and a reason that they're going to move on their search to another property. So while standing showers and walk-in showers are awesome, you don't want that to be the only bathing facility in the home because it's going to detract a lot of buyers. Number 3, we talked about finishing the basement. So finishing the basement doesn't sound maybe like a priority in terms of some of the different home renovations you could be doing, but let me tell you, dollar for dollar, it is one of the most inexpensive ways to add square footage to your home. So finishing a basement can come in very inexpensively when you're just talking about putting down some flooring, a little bit of drywall, possibly a drop ceiling or some more drywall and some paint. You're not spending a lot on, like, again, you may be putting a bathroom or different things on there, which is a bit more expensive, but the actual basic space of a basement is one of the most inexpensive things to finish and adds a ton of extra square footage. In terms of a bungalow, you can actually double your living space by finishing your basement. So this is really important to do to make your home feel a lot larger, both for yourself and for potential buyers in the future. Number 4 is mechanical. So people don't think about this a lot in terms of renovation until something goes wrong. But when we are listing homes for sale, one of the things buyers tend to notice is how old things like the furnaces and air conditioners are, or anything else that you have in terms of just mechanical systems for your home, whether it's an HRV unit or the water heater, anything really that is a part of the home as far as the daily operation tends to get overlooked until something's wrong with it. These can be things that are relatively inexpensive to replace, but they take a lot of stress off a buyer in terms of whether or not this home needs this and that when they move in. A new furnace, for example, you might get for around $4,000. Water heaters, most of them are rentals, but they can be replaced anywhere from you can buy a tank at Home Depot not installed for the $500-$600 range, and way up from there $3,500 for a tankless water heater. But replacing some of these items and making sure your home is in tip-top mechanical condition makes it much more sought after for a buyer. Things like the roof, things like the windows. Again, some of these projects are more expensive than others, but they are all key factors that a buyer is going to be looking at when they're thinking about purchasing your home. And if they're in tip-top shape, that puts your home a notch above the crowd as far as the rest. Number 6 is curb appeal. And this is something, guys, that can be very inexpensive depending on how crazy you want to go to it, but adds a ton of value to your home. And they're mostly things that you can do yourself. Things like making sure that the flower beds are nice and clean and mulched, things to make sure the grass is edged. Bigger projects like sealing the driveway, fairly inexpensive. Also things like replacing light fixtures on the front to newer, modern looking fixtures. One bigger one, again, is replacing the front door. That can be a bigger job, anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 for a beautiful looking front door, but is the gateway to your home and adds a ton of value, both for potential buyers and just for yourself as friends and family are coming to visit. A nice modern front door, especially if you have a modern interior, really relates the two together and gives that welcoming atmosphere to your home, which translates into a ton of value. You can even do a pop of color on the front door. I'm personally a fan of a nice red door, which adds all to tons of interest, especially depending on the architecture of your home. But any color that you really like and that adds to that curb appeal of your home can be a fantastic choice. Doesn't necessarily have to go with some of the other things you have in terms of color. Our front door can really be a statement piece that stands out and can add a ton of interest and value to the front of your home. The last thing being paint, and we talked about this again, number 6, because it is the oldest trick in the book. As I've said, everybody knows that when you add paint, it adds value to your home, but this can be true for yourself or for if you're buying and selling. A fresh coat of paint makes your home look clean, smell clean, and look fresh and new, and it can be very inexpensive. Obviously, you can bring in painters, which takes care of all the mess and the fuss, but they can be a little bit more expensive. I'm not a big fan of painting, so sometimes that can be a great option. But if you can do it yourself, you can pick up a can of paint for anywhere from $30 to $60, and we've got some discounts on those as well from some local suppliers. If you want to reach out to myself or another member of the Knowles Woolsey team, we can pass on those paint discount codes. But if you're picking up a can of paint, can do a room, usually for even a big bucket for $200 to $300 might do your entire home, and that can easily raise the value of your home and make it so much more desirable. So if you want to get your elbows dirty, paint, pick a nice neutral color. The most popular one this year, I believe, is called Silver Satin, which is a replacement of last year's Revere Pewter. It's a very gray and kind of a neutral color that goes with almost everything. Check that out. Give your home a fresh coat, and I guarantee it will add some value. If you have any questions about your home or a project that you are thinking about doing, reach out to myself or any member of the Knowles Woolsey team, and we'll be happy to give you the lowdown on whether or not we think it's a great idea, a bad idea, or whether it's just personal and won't add or detract from the value of your home. Give myself or any member of the team a call anytime. We're going to be happy to chat about it. Let's talk soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.